when he understands that the biggest fraud against this humanity, our humanity, is the fact that viruses have never been isolated. None. There is no measles virus. I write about this in one of my books. A second thought about viruses, vaccines, and the HIV/AIDS hypothesis. And I'm not alone. Those who have been brave enough, who stood up, even Peter Duesberg, Professor Peter Duesberg at Berkeley University, a friend of mine, who wrote the book Inventing the AIDS Virus, lost all of his funding at the university. When the Nobel Prize winner for discovering the so-called HIV virus gets exiled to Beijing because he's changing his mind about the existence of a virus. This is how bad things are.
Final way that's new and is promising is called the RNA vaccine. With RNA and DNA, instead of putting that shape in, you put instructions in the code to make that shape. You put instructions in the code to make that shape.
Everything that I'm about to mention is currently being developed by Bill Gates, often in partnership with the CV19 Playbook, MIT, all of which is backed by the United Nations and the Rockefeller Foundation. Due to ongoing mutations with CV19, the CV vaccine currently being developed will alter our DNA through an actual synthesizing of our individual genetic code using mRNA and CRISPR technology, which acts as scissors by cutting DNA at a designated spot and removing or inserting a new sequence with an artificial code to make sure every man, woman, and child complies with the One World Order's mandatory implementations. Gates and MIT are currently developing the Human Implantable Quantum Dot Microneedle Vaccination Delivery System. It's a tattoo for the hand, which will include our identification mark and vaccination records. It needs an enzyme called luciferase in order to make it work. The transhumanist agent on every person's hand will glow with the bioluminescence of the light bearer, a chip you cannot remove with a knife. This tracking system will alter your DNA, and it's permanent.
Accredited labs around the world have found dangerous, highly toxic, heavy metals in the COVID shots that cause vascular obstructions, which are not the blood clots and are not alive. So like I said to you, a lot of people will say that we're used to it, people are dying because of the blood clots. No, that's not it. Listen to what I'll have to tell you today. So it's actually not the blood clots. It's not myocarditis. It's not pericarditis, because the clots are actually something else, which is not blood. Now think about it. So if we thought all along that it was blood, then what exactly is in these COVID shots in the first place? Now, if you took the jab, yeah, you definitely need a miracle. I mean, this is the emptieth time that I probably will be saying this on the show. And if you're not vaxxed, then know this. This is not a shot against COVID, but a fiction created to scare you, to then voluntarily but unknowingly commit euthanasia on yourself and, in some cases, your children. So the vax is not a prophylaxis against any disease or virus. It is, by all credible accounts, nothing more than a delayed action lethal injection, which comprises your immune system. Have a listen to this.
I've got preliminary results to release on the vaccine. I'm not going to say which vaccine this is yet, but this is one of the big three vaccines. And I've done ICP-MS tests in my lab. Again, we are an ISO accredited laboratory.
In the book, if I understand it correctly, you argue that actually the amazing breakthrough that we are experiencing right now not only will potentially make our life better, but they will create, and I quote you, new classes and new class struggles, just as the Industrial Revolution did. Can you elaborate for us?
Yes, in the Industrial Revolution, we saw the creation of a new class of the urban proletariat, and much of the political and social history of the last 200 years involved what to do with this class and the new problems and opportunities. Now, we see the creation of a new massive class of useless people, as computers become better and better in more and more fields, there is a distinct possibility that computers will outperform us in most tasks and will make humans redundant. And then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games.